welcome to Intersections. Today I'm joined by a young couple who are embarking on a very, very significant journey in their life. Over the last couple of months, Josh Tulk and Samantha Rideout have become engaged to be married, and we welcome them to Intersections this morning. So welcome, Samantha and Josh. Sam, talk a little bit about St. John's Citadel, the role it's played in your life from infancy, and what it means to you.
Yeah, so I was raised here, well, since I was in the womb. My mother's been the junior soldier sergeant since prior to my conception. So I grew up here through and through. I've been involved in pretty much all the youth programming that's been available, which has been a big support throughout my life. It definitely helped gain friendships and those supports that are needed through growing up, be it through the Sunday school, YP bands, singing company, all the way up through songsters and senior band and the women's ministries and everything on the go to this day.
So what are you up to these days?
Well, I was up until 2 years ago studying for marine environmental technology, but decided to take a little bit of a career path change, and I'm now doing animal grooming.
Okay, great. Josh, Corner Brook Temple, way on the other side of our island. So talk to us a little bit about things you remember that really were nurturing for you at Corner Brook Temple, and then if you can then tell us a little bit about, coming here to St. John's Citadel. Of course, we know why you stay at St. John's Citadel, but tell us about you coming here, settling in, getting involved, and what it means to you.
Yeah, well, we started attending Corner Brook Temple when I was fairly young, so we didn't attend there until I was about 8 or 9. But there was always a group of people that sort of really nurtured the youth. We were a pretty small group. There's only about 4 or 5 of us who are around my age. So everyone sort of took somebody on, really sort of nurtured them and showed them their faith and really nurtured that in their life. So I always remember Major Calvin Fudge. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yes, I do.
He was there while I sort of a lot of my early teen years, preteen years, and he was always really encouraging to me, him and Loretta as well. So that was always great. And I moved to St. John's in 2018 to finish a bachelor's degree in psychology. So I started my first year at Grenfell and then transferred to St. John's. I moved here for that, and obviously I think we know the answer to why I stayed.
And what are you involved in here at the Corps?
A lot of things. It's sort of all came on pretty fast. So I joined the band when I came in. I was helping out with Sunday school. I joined the band executive. There's lots of little activities like that and stuff behind the scenes as well, and sort of planning and making sure the programs go off well and everything. So always, as much as I can, I try to be involved. So it's.
You're involved in the worship team on times?
Yeah, on occasion when I'm needed, I'll help out wherever I can.
Okay, great. And one of your more recent additions is the Pastoral Care Committee, I think.
Yes, yeah. Lynn Moore, your lovely wife, asked me to join the Pastoral Care Committee. So we've had a few meetings, and we're still transitioning into that role and sort of learning the responsibilities and what the Pastoral Care Committee does.
And of course, post-COVID, that'll be much different than it could have been during COVID.
Yeah, certainly.
Well, that's great. You've found a place.
Yes.
Here. Tell me a little bit about your studies. You referenced it, but you're getting close to the end now, aren't you?
Yeah, so I finished my bachelor's degree in, the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
And once I finished that, I transitioned into a full-time research role at Memorial University. So I work with I'm the research coordinator for the Sleep Health and Wellness Lab. So we are doing studies for cancer survivors, mainly around improving their sleep and memory, concentration and attention. So it's lots of fun, lots of work. I get to see a lot of people during the day. So it's always, every day is different, every day is a new journey.
Must be very fulfilling.
Yeah, it certainly is.
So, faith is an important part in each of your lives. And can you articulate for us when you knew that faith was going to be a dimension of your life that really had to be present all the way through? Sam?
I I guess for me, like, I kind of had the notion all the way growing up, being involved in the church and everything, but it truly became apparent when my grandfather passed away. Um, I was in my preteens, and it definitely was a really difficult time.
Yeah.
But I knew that that point in time that I needed to just embrace what was coming on in life, and that as long as I had God by my side, I'd be able to face whatever came on.
Was that Dave we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I knew Dave, and he was all of that and more. There are some tissues down there if you need them. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's touching. But you know, it's interesting where those touch points come in our lives, sometimes when we least expect them, right? But yeah, absolutely. So that's it for you. Wonderful. How about you, Josh?
It's probably around the same age, sort of in my preteens. I guess growing up, we were always involved in church, but it probably wasn't the main focus. I participated in a lot of sports, so we'd go to church on Sunday mornings, then we'd leave right away, and I'd go to figure skating practice, and then I'd coach figure skating, and a lot of my life centered around that. And I think in my preteens, I just had a sense of dissatisfaction with my life, with everything that was going on. I had progressed to a point in sports where I wasn't going any further, and there was a lot of politics and stuff that really didn't interest me. So I think at that point I really made a choice in my life that wasn't what I wanted to do anymore, that wasn't for me. And I made then obviously the choice to start going to more church-based programs. So of course YP band, different things like that, different youth activities. And I think from there I found myself much more satisfied with my life. I felt much more, I guess, whole, you could say. I found sort of a place that I belonged much more than I did in sports. And from there, I knew that was sort of where I needed to be in life and where I should be in life.
So here we are in 2022. You're planning a wedding. You're advancing your studies still, and you're settling into the world of work and learning what all that's about, and finding some fulfillment in that. So this intersection of faith and life is a daily thing. So you get up in the morning and you go about whatever it is that's on your schedule, and then something happens during the day which causes you, I suspect, to have this moment where it's like, okay, here's one way of doing it, and then there's this little voice that's happening that says, but hold on now, how does faith figure into that for you? We'll discuss a little bit about your daily use of faith, your daily need for faith in your lives as we go. Why don't we start with you this time, Josh?
Well, I guess it goes two ways. I think there's how faith intersects with our relationship as well as sort of, like you said, our daily life. So, I guess in my position, I'm meeting people who are struggling, and, they've gone through often very traumatic experiences. Their health is not great. And they're in a point, they're very vulnerable, they're upset. And like I said, they're just struggling. So, I think with my faith, I've really learned to have the patience there and show them just kindness, to be patient with them and show them someone cares. They're not alone. There are people here who care for them and want to help them. So that's been a really important part of, my job and my day-to-day life. And then as well for us, I think, with planning a wedding, as most people know, there's a lot of stress and effort that goes into that. So again, having the patience to handle that and realign our goals. And, I found it's very easy sometimes to slip into the mindset of pleasing everyone else when that's not the purpose. We're here to please God and put God first and center in our lives. So, having the faith and the ability to look back and realign those goals with our faith is really important to us.
Thank you. Sam?
Well, being in school and that, you definitely meet a lot of different people, university and college especially. You get people from all walks of life. So you get into your daily day groove, and there's definitely some points in conversations that things can get political, things can get a bit outside of your normal. But I definitely find that there's those times where it's like, I need to take a step back and remember this is not the way I should be reacting to what's happening. Yes, that these things happen, but I need to take that patience, kindness, perseverance, and put that forward and out into the world.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anything else on your mind that you might want to share with our viewing public about who you are, what matters to you in your life and your living before we wrap it up for this morning? All good?
Good.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Good luck with all the planning.
Thank you.
And best wishes for a long and happy life together. Thanks so much for being here and sharing who you are with our listening audience.
Thank you.